Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more slug testing, and today we've got another very interesting combination to try out with some slugs that we've recently tested that showed some promise, but out at longer ranges they weren't quite there. So maybe today's setup and choke combo might dial them in a little bit. I don't know, it's been a little bit unimpressive so far with this particular choke throughout our testing, but we'll see what this combo can do for us. But as for the slugs we're going to run today, I brought out some of the good old Remington Slugger 20ga rifled slugs. These ones are a 2 3/4 inch 5/8 ounce slug moving about 1580. We tested these recently and they did show some promise. Like I mentioned a second ago, they were definitely good out to 50, but started to get a little bit funny out there towards 100. So hopefully today's combo might dial these in a little bit once you get out past that 50-yard range. But for the shotgun we're going to run them through, I brought out my Stevens 301 20 gauge. Up on top is a Nikon Inline XR 3-9x40. Technically, yes, muzzleloader scope, but works great for this particular application. It's got a 26-inch barrel on it, and we're going to be running those slugs through a Carlson's rifled choke tube. We've tested this a couple times now on the channel with some Remington high velocity sluggers and some Winchester Super X 3/4 ounce slugs as well, and it really hasn't done anything noticeable at all to our accuracy, and kind of actually went backwards a little bit with the Winchesters. So I'm definitely curious to see if it makes any kind of difference at all with the standard Remingtons that we've got today. I don't know what we're going to see. I've got hopes that it's going to work out nicely for us, but we don't know until we try it. And for those curious, Carlson's does say these chokes have a 1 in 35 twist rate. So will it work? Will it change anything at all? Will it help us at all? I don't know, but we'll see what happens. But as for our test today, we're going to run it the same as we usually do. I've got a 50-yard target and a 100-yard target, so we're going to shoot 3 shots at 50 and another 3 at 100, all of them through the chronograph. As I always say, might not be a perfect test, but we got to work with the slugs we do have, and at the very least it'll tell us if this combo is decent at all. So let's get you guys a view of those targets. We'll shoot our groups, then bring everything back to the bench and see how it all performed. Alright, so let's run through our chronograph numbers real quick before we go look at our target. The boss claim is 1580, and wouldn't you know it, we happen to have exactly 1580 right there for our last shot. And from our previous testing, we have been seeing right around their boss claim, if not just a few feet per second above it, so this is not a surprise. But for a high, we had 1595. For a low, we had 1529. That gave us an average of 1570, so technically 10 feet per second under their boss claim, with an extreme spread of 66 and a standard deviation of 21. But with an average at 1570, that's 10 feet per second under the boss claim. I believe last time we tested it, we were like 6 feet per second above the boss claim for average. So we're right there seeing exactly what we should be. And this little bit of an extended rifle choke didn't really change our velocity any. But here are your energy numbers. If you wanted to deer hunt with this combo or anything like that, that's the kind of energy you would be pushing from the muzzle. It's plenty good enough for that scenario. But let's move over to our target, because I think we got some more pretty interesting results over there as well. Alright, so here's our target, and once again, right off the bat, I don't think this rifle choke made any kind of difference at all. It's unfortunate, but this is the third time we've tested it now from that same 20 gauge with 3 different slugs, and none of them have shown us any improvement through that little bit of rifling. We'll start on the left with our 50-yard group. These two are just about touching, but we had one straggler over here, and it's pretty much the same over there with our 100-yard spread as well. This is actually worse than what we saw with these through just a regular improved cylinder choke as well. So at 50, we had 2.88 inches from our farthest 2 points across. Still plenty good enough to take out on a deer hunt with, but that is a downgrade from just our improved cylinder. I believe we were just over an inch with that previous test, so really kind of went backwards there, and it really did about the same at 100 as well. Clearly we're grouping high with that particular choke, but we had this bullet hole right up here on the edge, this guy and this guy, kind of the same ordeal, two that are kind of close and one straggler down here. I felt good about all of these trigger pulls. There's nothing wrong with the scope or the rings or anything like that. But at 100 yards, we had 4.83 inches. So technically speaking, I guess it's a slight improvement over what we saw with our improved cylinder. I believe that one was a little over 5 or something, 5.1 if I'm remembering correctly. But in the grand scheme of things, it really didn't make any massive kind of difference at all. At 50 yards, we didn't stack them all in the same hole. At 100 yards, we didn't noticeably improve our groups. So I don't know if it's just a 20 gauge thing in particular, but this rifle choke with all the 20 gauge slugs I've tested through my 301 has not made any notable difference. So not exactly the results I was hoping for or expecting to see, but based on our previous testing, it's kind of the same story, unfortunately. But that's why you test different combos, because some are going to be surprising, some are going to be a little disappointing, and we really didn't see any massive improvement here either. Good enough at 50, but not exactly what I want to see out there at 100 either. Alright y'all, well, what did you think about those results right there? I was definitely hoping for a little bit better. I mean, at 50 yards, it's not bad. We put 2 of them close to touching with one little straggler, so it would be good enough for that. But considering we put all 3 of them pretty much touching at 50 with our improved cylinder and a pretty similar group at 100 yards, I don't see any notable improvement here with this rifle choke. So far, in 20 gauge, it just hasn't done anything impressive for us. Now, is that a 20 gauge thing in particular? It very well could be. So we're going to be testing more and more of a rifle choke in 12 gauge as well to see if it makes any kind of difference there. But I was definitely hoping to see a little bit better out of this combo. These shells definitely showed good promise coming into it through just that improved cylinder, but just didn't work out. But that's why we test things, to see what different combos can give us. But leave all your thoughts down below. Is that about what you expected to see? Were you a little surprised one way or the other? Have you ever tested any of these 20 gauge Remington Sluggers or put them through a rifle choke? And if so, what kind of results have you seen? Is that a combo you would hunt with? Is it good enough accuracy for you, or would you want to see better out of it? And what other shell or choke combos do you want to see us try when it comes to slugs or 20 gauge slugs or putting shells through that rifle choke or anything like that? Let me know all that down below. But with that being said, I've got some more testing to get done for you guys, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All the information will be in the description if you're interested in it, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see you all in the next one.